So the TikTok ban is officially in full swing. By the time that I will be posting this, there's probably only a couple hours left until TikTok is officially banned in the United States. And there's so many important things that I think need to be discussed as quickly as possible. One of them, I'm leading up to it, but it's towards the end of the video. It's very time sensitive. And more specifically, if you have undocumented friends, family, loved one, please definitely watch this through, but really focus in on this last portion of this video. Also, for those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Shayna. I'm a journalist. I talk a lot about decentering men and child-free living. If any of that sounds like a vibe, please like, share, and subscribe. And in these new times that we will be in, I will be talking not just about decentering men and child-free living, but as we decenter men, I've been saying consistently on this platform, you decenter them, what are you focusing in on? Because there are more important things to be focusing in on in the grander scheme of the chaotic realities that we all live in than men. For example, the greater implications of this TikTok ban. First and foremost, TikTok. We all know it. We all enjoy it, whether it's because of the silly dance videos or because that's how we get our global or region. That's how we get our news, our unfiltered on the ground guerrilla journalism, right? Or was how we got that journalism. Now, for a number of concerning reasons, all of which focus in on capitalism, it all came down to the Supreme Court. Right now, will TikTok be reinstated later on? Who knows? Will Zuck Pappy buy it later on? Who knows? There's some weird stuff that's happening on Facebook. That's not what this video is about. It is important for us to notice, though, that it was unanimously voted against by the Supreme Court. So that means that everybody from Uncle Tom Clarence Thomas to the most liberal of the liberal within the Supreme Court, everybody. Supreme Court on Friday unanimously upheld the law requiring TikTok to be China-based parent. That poor man couldn't say that he's from Singapore any more than he already had. Everybody said, get rid of TikTok. Get rid of the unfiltered reality of what news could look like in these United States. So not only does this mean that the way that we get news in our nationally and internationally is going to be heavily censored within the United States, but also there are, I would dare to say, I can't remember the exact number. Actually, let me check that number. Cool. I was going to say 700,000, but clearly I was wrong by a very important zero. More than 7 million small businesses in general, which also includes not just the owners, but the employees, officially out of business, thanks to this wildly selfish and money-focused decision. But there is as terrible as this is, it just gets worse. I don't know what other people's algorithms looked like on TikTok, but I really want to talk about not just the news that was happening in other countries, but what happens to the most marginalized of us eventually happens to all of us. And that does not just go for U.S. history, U.S. regional and national history. That happens internationally. What am I talking about? So what's going on in Congo? What is going on in Palestine? The way that the Palestinian resistance, the Palestinian genocide, no slide, has been so intricately, painfully, and unfiltered kinds of recordings have made their way to social media via TikTok and Twitter. That is how we know what has been going on over there for over a year of genocide. Also, for those of you who do not know this, I was able to capture this before everything went out. So there's an official ceasefire that has been agreed upon between the colonial state that is Israel and Palestine, but it's a two-parter. So the first part is temporary, and then if Israel decides to not be the worst thing ever created, then it will continue to the full ceasefire, which there's so much more in this, but I want to make this video as succinct as possible. So there is global news that is consistently happening on this app, as well as global atrocities that are consistently happening on this app. Now, if you remember, not just Bassan, but so many other journalists over in Palestine were talking about the heightened levels of surveillance, how there was so much noise and there were these drones and there was so much happening in the airspace as it relates to surveillance and pew-pewings that were happening in Palestine consistently. Now, what does that remind us of? All of these goddamn drone sightings that were happening. It was really famous for what was happening in New Jersey, but clearly, if we're just look over here, mind you, I'm not going to dive into all of this, but it has made its way. Oh, I didn't know it made its way to Florida. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is literally what I'm talking about. But I knew that it was all over the northeastern coast, right? It was loud. It was scary. Nobody really knew what was going on. People were shooting them down. They were like, oh my God, this is so unprecedented. No, it just hasn't happened to you yet. But we knew that these kinds of things were happening. Why? Because of TikTok. And for the people that are saying, oh, well, okay, like there's a bunch of people that are going to be out of business. Okay, we're not going to be learning about the news in places super far away that could potentially happen to us. Mind you, I do not agree with any of those things. But I'm saying there are a bunch of people that do believe in this and these messed up ideas, right? For the people that are saying that the way that the devil is at the U.S.'s doorstep, arguably he's in the kitchen right now. But Shayna, we got time. No, you don't. So as I'm recording this right now, it is, mind you, I'm in Spain, so it's a little different. But as I'm recording this right now, it is Saturday night, which means it's about like Saturday afternoon in the United States. TikTok goes away on Sunday, I think, and I think the inauguration is on Monday or something like that. By Tuesday, Trump is initiating mass deportations in major cities like Chicago, Washington, D.C., and Denver is not a city, it is an entire state. So, and I'm just saying, these are the places that we know these mass deportations are going to be happening. I've been seeing news about this on TikTok in more detail than I have been seeing the actual news being pushed out about these events. So I have a lovely, adorable, and I understand like we all gotta get rid of Instagram and all that. It's taken some time. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be transferred over there from my end, but just bear with me. I have a wonderful friend and resource to all people that are in the Chicago area. This is frankalooch, an angel of queer representation. I adore them with every fiber of my spirit. They were also one of the only people that were like physically protective of me when I was in Moscow and people were trying to kidnap me. So anyway, that's a story for another thing. If you're curious about that, link is right up there. I don't have time to go through all of this, but Frankalooch, my dearest Frankie, my Frank, posted this in multiple languages. I will be posting the other languages that this could be. Print this out. I'm going to make some space. Print this out in whatever language you understand, but also definitely print it out in English too. I will I will read this for the people that might be sight impaired. So know your rights. I am giving you this card because I do not wish to speak to you. Next point. I choose to exercise my right to maintain silent and to refuse to answer any questions. Next point. If you arrest me, I will continue to exercise my right to remain silent and refuse to answer your questions. Next point. I want to speak with a lawyer before answering your questions. Next point. I would like to contact this attorney or organization. Fill this in and then fill in that information. This also comes in multiple languages. I will not say anything. I will just post them. We have Spanish right here. We have Arabic right here. We have Chinese right here. We have Korean right here. We have Urdu right here. We have Gujarati, which I could be mispronouncing grossly, right here. And we have Hindi right here. So as these wild times continue on, I will continue to the best of my abilities to share the news that is happening as much as I can put out. Well, mind you, I'm still in my healing process, but I will be doing as best as I can to keep everybody as informed as possible, because your safety, all of our safety, means so much to me. And as censorship is so likely to increase in the United States, I'm working on being able to put all of my more highly sensitive stuff onto a separate platform. So that way, if this kind of content gets censored, you guys will still be able to find this information. I'm thinking Patreon, but I'll keep you posted. All that to say, I adore you guys. Please be safe out there.